I want to begin by saying a huge thank you, and I mean it, to all of you for your support and your faith in me, and that you would even think on some days to be proud of me. So many cards and notes and responses from so many of you, and so many of our alumni, and so many friends and acquaintances from all over the country, from all over the years. At first I was quite mystified, I have to say, by the whole thing. After I caught the call about that honorary doctorate that I just got Friday, I kind of put it away and didn't really think about it a whole lot. In many ways it was even annoying because it kept interfering with what I considered way more important. And I ended up being surprised, really truly surprised by how much it meant to me as it got closer. When I had my head measured a couple months ago to get that cap that you wear for graduation, it came out at 17 and a half inches, and I swear by Friday night when I went to bed it was 19 and a half, at least. None of that was expected, nor do I feel like it was something I needed, but it did make me very happy. For many reasons. I remember when we put out a new sign in front of the CSC. The old sign was just made out of tin or metal of some sort. It's kind of small. The new one's made of stone and brick, and it's big. And when the Archbishop saw it driving past one day, he wrote a note saying that to him it made a statement. It made a statement to all who passed it, that our presence, the presence of the church at Washington University, is strong. And that that's what I felt like in this recognition Friday, this honorary doctorate, that our presence is strong at the university. We are here. We are here. The church is here. It's been a crazy and wild week this past week has for me. Last Sunday, I celebrated my 26th anniversary here at the CSC, and today is my 40th anniversary of being a priest. No. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot, but please know that none of this is for that. 40 years ago at this very hour, I laid down on the stone cold floor of the cathedral, just 3 miles from here, a little bit east. And there's an old line that would play over and over in my head as I lay there. Somebody penned it, I have no idea who, and it just simply said, "A man lies down in his nothingness and rises up a priest." A man lies down in his nothingness and rises up a priest. His priest. Jesus' priest. And that's what happened for me that day 40 years ago. It was for me an act of surrender that I wanted to give myself away. I wanted to give myself away. And I had finally found a way to give myself away. And ultimately to give myself away to the story of Jesus. The story of Jesus, I hope you can tell if you've been here for a while, means the world to me. It's truly the centerpiece of my life. And it's more true now to say that than it was 40 years ago even. It's the centerpiece of my life. It was the story of Jesus that helped me to begin to see so much, to understand so much, to come to terms with the meaning of my life and yours, all of our lives. And I just wanted to tell the story of Jesus the best I could, the best I knew how. And priesthood just kept popping up as a way to do that. I wanted to tell the story so others could see what I saw, what I had begun to see myself. And see it not just in words that I might share, but also with my life the best I could in my sinfulness and weakness. When Jesus says in that second reading today from Peter, I want you to have reasons for your hope. I want you to have reasons for your hope. I am so blessed to be able to share with others day in and day out the reasons for my hope. He also said in that gospel, I'm not going to leave you orphaned. I'm not going to leave you orphaned. Because an orphan doesn't feel like they have a place in the world, and they don't feel like they have roots, and they don't belong really anywhere in the world. He was saying, I'm not going to leave you like that. I'm not going to leave you orphaned. I don't want you to think ever that you're an orphan in this world, that you're not alone. As lonely as life can get, you are not alone at all. It was my hope then and still that his story and my presence to people as his priest could help make the world less lonely and help people find their place. That God was faithful to his promise. That God would always be with us. Always with them. And I was hoping that by my presence as a priest to people, and just as Gary, and the telling of the story of Jesus again and again, that they would be less alone in the world. And the gospel words that I had on my ordination invitation, I am with you always, would become the theme of my life. I hope that that big sign out front does say that God has not abandoned the students of our university during their university years. Rather, that God is very much with them in thick and thin, suffering and success, through our presence here with them, for them. I mentioned when I sat down, I mentioned first of all that I was grateful, how grateful I was that people would even think to take pride in me. Many people surprised me with just those words these last couple of weeks. I'm proud of you, Gary. And even more, Gary, your mom and dad would be so proud of you. Wow. That went right to my heart. I prayed a lot this last week about just those words. What does it mean to be proud of somebody? What does it mean to take pride in someone, that someone would make us proud? That someone would be proud of you? What does that say? What does that mean? I suppose those words are nothing we could ever say about each other all the time. We've all made choices, I suspect, that we are not proud of. There are many times my choices did not make my mom and dad proud. I always hoped that someday, I always hoped that someday they would be proud of me because, like all of our parents, they gave me so much. They sacrificed so much for me to become who I am. Not just who they wanted me to be, but me to become who I am in this world. I guess I figured out that the only way I could hope to pay them back, ever even approximate paying them back, was to make them proud. I still can't think of a better way to say thank you to our moms and dads, but that we should make them proud of us. It is fun. It's been so fun this past week to see parents of our seniors, our graduating students, all of them, being so proud of their daughters and sons, making it for themselves on their own, away from home for the first time, some for the second time. It was so cool to see them beaming with pride in their kids and hearing them say it to them over and over again. Yesterday I attended 2 weddings for students from the CSC. 2 weddings. And again, I have to say, to see the pride on their parents' face, that all the blood and sweat and tears, at least for this moment, today, this time, they were proud of them. It was right there. Some of them actually found the words to say it. Proud that they could take this courageous step. Proud that they could pull their lives together and work this hard to create this new experience of life on this planet for the rest of their lives. Proud that in the midst of so many who don't, they made a commitment. And they would do their best to make it be true at the end of their life, as now, as yesterday was for them. I was proud of them as well for making that courageous choice. And knowing that they could perhaps in some small way, and not without blood and sweat and tears, those parents, I trust when they said it, knew that somehow they had contributed to that choice those kids were making, and that by the grace of God and circumstance, they lived long enough to see it happen. So many don't. If I am proud of someone, or they make me proud, it is usually because I'm seeing how they're doing with their life and what they are doing with their life. And it's so beautiful to me, and somehow it makes the world more beautiful to see who they've become and what they're doing with their life. And somehow it's also a way to be proud of someone is to say, I have a stake in you. I have a stake in your life. I have a stake in your choices. I am a stakeholder in what you are becoming. And isn't that the truth in the Christian community, that we are all stakeholders in each other becoming who we are? Isn't that the truth, that we all have a stake in each other becoming our best selves, so that when you see somebody making a breakthrough, when you see somebody growing, when you see somebody stepping out, you're proud of them because they matter so much to you. You have been a stakeholder in my life for the last 26 years here of my 40 years as a priest. And if it was true, it makes me so happy to think that I could make you proud. Through all my weaknesses and my imperfections, and you know them probably even better than I do, to think that I could make you proud means the world to me. And I have to say it hurts me deeply when I talk to students whose parents never let themselves ever really be proud of their kids. Or if they felt it, they never said it because they thought their role was to keep pushing and pushing and pushing them so that they would succeed, pushing and pushing them, and not let them go because somehow they think that's what parents are supposed to do to make their kid great. Pushing them to not even be who they are, to be somebody other than they are because that's who they thought they should be. And it breaks my heart to think that a student would ever go through these years and not hear their parents say, I'm so proud of you. Or at least recognize that in their face. I just wish that they would have stopped, and maybe some did, and I pray they did. Or I pray that the students who never heard it from their mom or dad are hearing it from us at the CSC and from God with a big hug to hear said somewhere along the way, I'm really proud of you. And if it's possible, and you have been one of those, please do know, and I think you know, it's not too late to say that to your kids. One thing I know, moms and dads don't need to see public recognition for their daughter or son. They don't need to see that to be proud of them. They have eyes to see the little steps, the little breakthroughs, the little choices to not give up. how hard they tried, how far they've come from where they started, how they beat back that fear, how they didn't give up even when they wanted to, how they worked hard to forgive that person whose choices devastated them. I see how excited parents get when their kids take their first steps in the world. Oh, that we could get that excited for each other when we take any steps forward in life. That son or daughter of theirs may never, ever get that honorary doctorate or that huge promotion or that successful bank account or the article in the prestigious St. Louis Review. Maybe it's just how well they took care of them in their old age, or what a great job they're doing with their kids. Nevertheless, without any of that acclaim, they were very, very proud of them. In the end now, and at the end of every day, I hope God is proud of me. I hope I made God proud to call me son. That's the other thing I hear in this gospel. I hear Jesus saying to his own in the world, if you keep my commandments, if you see the world like I see the world, if you try to relate your best that you can like I tried to relate the best I could, if you give it your best shot and you try to make a difference and you're kind along the way, that's what's going to make me proud, Jesus says essentially in that gospel. I'd like to make God proud to call me his son, because then at the end of every day, I can be proud of myself too for how I spent the day living and loving. On my 40th anniversary, let me end this reflection a little different from the others by just saying, I'm really proud of you. And I'm really proud to be your priest. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.